Hi, my name's Leonie Woods. This is assignment 2 for SPE205. I'm doing critique of technology in analysing a movement. The technology that I'm using today is the iPhone camera, the recording function on the iPhone. The movement we're analysing is a goal shooting technique of a junior netballer. So in regards to this piece of technology, it's ideal for this situation because it's simple, it's effective. We're analysing a basic movement specific to netball, obviously, and we can provide instant feedback to the participant that we are looking at. Some of the advantages by using this technology is that they're plentiful. So most people will have a phone. The current models have excellent camera and recording capabilities, so we can immediately record an action or a series of movements, and we can provide feedback to that participant straight away. They're obviously portable. We carry them with us pretty much all of the time. So as soon as you can see something occurring, whether it be something good or something that you'd like to correct, you can record it. So you can look at it either during training or game time, and you can record straight away. So this is obviously advantageous for the participant, having that visual representation of what they're doing rather than just the coach or, the trainer telling them. They've got that visual reference that they can refer to as well. In regards to the person operating the equipment, it's very simple and easy to use. It's just the click of a button. There's no setting up of specific machines or electronics or bits and pieces that you need to stick onto anybody so that you can analyse their movement. There's no calibration of equipment, and there's no measuring in regards to where you need to put any of those electrodes or some of those things that are used in more expensive types of equipment. It's virtually just a click and record, and obviously then you can save that file and send it off to them at a later time if they haven't got time to watch it straight away. In regards to the options with the camera or with the recording function on the phone, there's different options available. So you can use just your standard recording, which is at the normal speed, or you can look at things like slow motion, which is excellent for analysing their technique when they really need to nut out possibly where they're going wrong. You've also got things like wide angle, panoramic. You can zoom in, zoom out, so you can get a whole range of different people in the shot if you need to. Obviously the camera's not fixed, you can move around with it, so the person operating the camera can move around the participant, which shows the different angles as well of that movement that you're trying to analyse. You don't have to continually change and set up the equipment for the different angles. You can obviously just walk around, adjust where you're holding the camera and record it that way. As I said earlier, we can give our participant instant feedback. So they can watch the recording straight away, they can see the point we're trying to make in analysing their movement or adjust their movement. We can provide them with visual feedback straight away, and we can back this up with verbal feedback. They can then go and reattempt and refine that movement, and we can look at it again and reassess how they went if they've tried to modify that movement. So all in all, it's a really functional, easy to use, excellent tool for basic and general information. So with that in mind, some of the disadvantages, you certainly get a visual impression of what you're doing, so you get that visual feedback, but it's not specific in regards to exact angles or speeds or distances. It's basic and general information, which again is good just for that instant feedback. If you're wanting to provide more specific information, then it's probably not the best tool for that. There's other things on the market. Coach's Eye is an app which is quite good, and that allows you to draw lines to indicate angles and trajectories. You can, pop up speed distances and resistances, etc. There's lots of other functions on the Coach's Eye app, but you have to pay for that. So while it is a good app, then you are paying for the use of those things. In regards to the movement analysis, what we're looking at for this netball shooting technique is the positioning of the body. We're looking at it before, during and after the ball release. So we're looking at the setup position, the bending and the releasing of the ball, and then the follow through of the movement once the ball has been released. So we're looking at the movement of the body, the coordination, the technique, the joint action, the timing of the movement in conjunction with the ball release. We can also analyse the trajectory of the ball, so the flight path of the ball. We can simply assess the speed as well as the angle and the height, so we can get a bit of an idea on how that ball is being released and is then moving through the air. What we're aiming for is the setup. We want the body square to the goalpost. You want feet shoulder width apart, knees, hips and shoulders all square as well to the goalpost. The ball position, we want that resting on the pads of the fingers of the shooting hand, the wrist under the ball, and you want the supporting hand doing just that, supporting only. It's not the main weight bearer of the ball. You want the arm of the shooting hand up close to the ear. So our posture, we want a nice tall upright position. We want balanced body weight and the weight evenly distributed through the feet. With the shooting action, we want a nice fluent motion, so it's one motion, nice and fluent. The knees bend, the elbows bend, hands sort of drop behind the head. As you move into the squat, your hips flex, and that's where you generate your power from. From there you'll extend the knees, the hips and the elbows. The power drives up through the whole body, from the feet and the legs to the release point. We call the release point the dead swan, and with that there's the flick of the wrist, and you rise up onto your toes in completion of that shooting action. So it's quite important to make sure that you do have that balance and that centre of gravity. Often you'll see shooters that will start to tip forward in their shooting action, particularly when they want to release the ball. So from this today, we've been able to analyse the participants' movements. We can see from the start of her shooting technique, even though she wasn't aiming for an actual goal ring because it was raining and we were stuck inside the shed, you can see that she actually modifies the hand release and the flick of her wrist to start with. She's using quite a supportive two-handed approach in handling the ball, and then once we've sort of had a look at some of the footage, she modifies that and starts to revert to that more one-handed release. We still need to work on the squaring up of the feet and the knees and the hips when she addresses the post, but that's obviously something that she's been able to see and look at and can see the angle of her feet and knows that they're not square. They're probably not quite shoulder width apart either, so that's another thing that we can start to work on again in trainings and with the drills and the practice things that we input. So all in all, it's an